What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today let's have a look at my growth portfolio and what happened during the month of November. As we can see, in terms of value, there was a slight dip. In October I was just above 20,000 euros, and now in November I ended the month just below 20,000 euros, which is a bit sad, but allows me to buy some stocks at a cheaper price. And also we can see that, over the past couple of months, of course, before then, the stock market just went up and up and up. So it's only natural to have a little bit of a down month every now and then. Since Alphabet recently decided to actually perform like, I don't know, a young growth stock, and most other stocks saw some weakness, it is now the second largest position in my portfolio, just barely above Nvidia. ASML is still my largest position though. And then on number 4 we have Brookfield. My cash position currently is at 8%, and I'm still trying to bring that down. And then we've got Amazon, Nebius, Taiwan Semiconductor, Microsoft, New Holdings, Mercado Libre, Toast, which by now is now at a 3% position. I started building this up over the past 2 months or so, I believe. We've got Booking Holdings also at around 3%. We've got SoFi, Sea Limited, Hims & Hers, and MasterCard. Let's go over all of my buys. First of all, I bought 100 euros worth of Booking Holdings, which is just above 2% of one share, because they refused to do the stock split for some reason. But this was basically my cost average, and so I thought, why not buy some more? And we can see that afterwards the price dipped even further, but you never know these things beforehand, so it is what it is. I also purchased my obligatory 50 euros worth of MasterCard, and this totaled me around 0.1 share. So I'm now sitting at just above 1 share. Yay, I've reached the goal. And that means that from now on I'm just going to reset the goalpost to 2 shares. So I will just continue 50 euros into MasterCard at the beginning of each month, without looking at the stock, no matter what is happening in the market. Those 50 euros are safe for MasterCard until I hit 2 shares, and then I might reevaluate or just go for 3 shares, who knows. I also managed to buy Mercado Libre just before it dipped down quite a lot, which is unfortunate because 2 weeks earlier, in the middle of October, I managed to hit the perfect bottom, and now I managed to hit almost the perfect top. But even at this price, I'm fine with buying more Mercado Libre, which is why I did it in the first place. I bought 50 euros worth, which is again just above 2%, because also Mercado Libre, for some reason, refused to do a stock split. And my last purchase for the month was 5 shares of Sea Limited. So this was a larger payment worth 576 euros. And beforehand, Sea Limited was a very, very small position in my portfolio. And now I decided to pull the trigger and make it a larger one, especially since there was a major intraday dip. You can see that, well, you can't see the dip, which is because the chart here only shows the end of day prices, I believe. So everything that happens within the day, you can't see here. So you just have to trust me that this was actually the price I got. So this now makes this somewhat larger position than it was beforehand. When comparing my portfolio's performance versus some indices like the MSCI World in yellow, the S&P 500 in red, and the Nasdaq 100 in, I don't know, salmon color, we can see that my portfolio in blue underperformed quite significantly, which again is just due to me having higher volatility names, which means in bull market, when all stocks rise, I would expect my stocks to rise more than the average. But also when we have a down market like we did in the last month, I would expect my stocks to underperform because they're just more volatile both on the upside and on the downside. But looking at the year-to-date performance, it's not even close. My portfolio still, despite the recent dip, has significantly outperformed all 3 major indices, which are somewhere in between 5 and 8%, I would say. And keep in mind, those are, first of all, euro prices because I'm in the Eurozone. So this might be different in terms of dollar amounts. And also this takes into consideration when I bought. So basically the calculation for the indices is if instead of buying whichever stocks I bought the index at the exact same time, this would have been my performance. Okay. So it might be that actually year to date on a chart that says that the S&P 500 is up, I don't know, 12% this year or so. This doesn't mean that my data here is wrong. It's just different data. So keep that in mind. Let's talk dividends. I received from two companies. Same two companies as last year, in fact. The first one was ASML at €4.56. And I also received a payment from MasterCard worth 51 cents. In total, I received €5.07, which is up significantly from last year when I received only 12 cents in total. But of course, this is to be expected since I purchased a much larger stake in both of these companies. In terms of my worst and best performers, there was quite a lot of red in my portfolio and only very little green. My third worst performer was HIMS, down 13%. Yeah, by now you know it. The stock is volatile as hell, so yeah, it's to be expected that there is going to be significant upside and downside on a month-to-month basis, depending on whatever the hell's going on with the stock right now. Then Nvidia is down 13.7% in the past month, which is also significant. I would attribute this mostly to Alphabet saying that, hey, we also have chips and they also work pretty well. So this kind of, yeah, takes into question whether Nvidia's dominance will endure. I'm still undecided of what to do. I don't see myself adding to Nvidia at the moment, but I also don't really want to sell right now because they are still undoubtedly completely dominant. And I don't know if it's going to be the same in 5 or 10 years. I could see someone like Alphabet and also some of the other hyperscalers reducing their reliance on Nvidia by then. But for now, I'll just wait and see what happens. And then Nebius was down 25%, which is just another very volatile stock. So yeah, it is what it is. My third best performer is not really worth mentioning, up 2.2%, Brookfield Corporation. Yeah, nothing major. New Holdings actually saw some strength, which is nice to see because, well, doesn't happen too often. Up 8% already. Which also in turn means that it is moving closer to the chopping board because I do want to consolidate my portfolio and New Holdings is one of the candidates that might be cut. And since it's now moved up, it might be cut even more. And then of course Alphabet is up 13% in a month where almost everything else is down because, well, I guess by now everybody has realized that Alphabet in fact is not going to be destroyed by AI. It looks rather like Alphabet is going to use AI to destroy everybody else. Alright, that's all from me right now. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.